paper, I was reading what they said, and I told Chris, I said,
20 seconds. Gary.
I thought that was just. Hey, you better get up here. Where's Betsy? There's Betsy.
Thank you, Chris.
Calling you out, calling you over.
Good evening, and welcome to the February the 4th business meeting of the Kingsport Board of Mayor and Aldermen. We're meeting in the Montgomery Watterson Room. And I will get ready for the pledge. We'll be led tonight by Alderman Cooper, and invocation by Bishop Ronnie Collins. So let's all stand.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let us pray. Father, we give you praise, we give you honor and glory for being God all by yourself. We thank you for all that you've done for us, not just yesterday, what you're doing today and what you will do in our future. We want to lift up to you this city, one of the greatest cities, Kingsport, Tennessee. Our mayors, our board of mayor and aldermen, Lord, bless them and all that they do. Every decision, Lord, I pray that they seek you for your wisdom as they make the decisions. Father, thank you for every citizen of our city, that you will continue to bless, that we will continue to have a relationship with each other, and unity will be the end result. Thank you that we are here together, and let us continue to do this here in Kingsport, Tennessee. So bless now. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Bishop Collins. Madam Recorder, please take the roll.
Mayor Montgomery,
Here.
Vice Mayor Duncan,
Here.
Alderman Baker, Alderman Cooper,
Here.
Alderman George,
Here.
Alderman Mays,
Here.
Alderman Phillips.
Here.
Thank you. 6 of the aldermen are here tonight, and Alderman Baker is out on business this evening. Mr. City Manager.
All right, we have one recognition on the agenda tonight, and that is a proclamation for Black History Month. Mayor Montgomery will be making his way to the podium, and I'd ask that Johnny May Swaggerty and Bishop Collins please join him.
I want to recognize 2 individuals tonight who constantly try to be inclusive in everything they do, in educating the citizens of Kingsport in Black History Month, particularly Martin Luther King Parade, and they do much more than that. But at least tonight we're going to recognize them for what they do in educating all citizens for Black history. So therefore, I'm going to read the proclamation. The City of Kingsport Proclamation. Whereas the Board of Mayor and Aldermen of the City of Kingsport takes pride in recognizing February 2025 as Black History Month, celebrating the many notable contributions Black Americans have made to our country, and whereas since President Gerald Ford officially recognized Black History Month in 1976, presidents have designated February as Black History Month to honor and affirm the importance of Black history throughout our American experience. And whereas we acknowledge this year's Black History Month theme, African Americans and labor, and whereas we recognize Black Americans of Kingsport for the many accomplishments and positive contributions to our community, and stand united with them in the finest traditions of the Kingsport spirit. And whereas Black History Month is a time for all Americans to remember the contributions and legacy of those who helped build our nation, fought against prejudice to secure lives of dignity and opportunity for all of our citizens, advanced the cause of civil rights for all Americans, and strengthened our families and communities. Now, therefore, I, Paul W. Montgomery, Mayor of the City of Kingsport, and on behalf of the Board of Mayor and Aldermen of the City of Kingsport, do by here proclaim February 2025 as Black History Month in the City of Kingsport, and encouraging all citizens to join me in honoring the many contributions made by Black Americans to the city, state, and the nation. Thank you. And I want to commend the city for these displays downstairs on the first floor. So if you get a chance, invite your neighbors, come and read about what's happened in Kingsport over the years. Thank you. Okay. At this point in time, as we set aside in our meeting for public comment, so citizens may speak on any item on the agenda or any items that's issues oriented regarding the City of Kingsport. They can come to the podium. Please state your name, address, and sign the register there. You are encouraged to keep your comments non-personal in nature, and they should be limited to 5 minutes. So do I see anyone who want to come and address us tonight? Thank you very much. So, Mr. City Manager.
All right, we have no appointments, so we'll move forward with the approval of the minutes from the work session on January 21st, 2025, and the business meeting on January 21st, 2025. We'd ask that you approve these minutes as submitted, please.
You have already read the minutes. Are there any changes or additions to the minutes? If not, I will entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
Motion for approval by Vice Mayor Duncan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Cooper. All in favor of the motion, say aye. Approve of minutes? Aye. And disapprove likewise. All approve, 6-0. Mr. City Manager.
All right, next item is consideration of a budget ordinance for various funds in fiscal '25. This budget ordinance is accepting the receipt of a $500 grant from Kingsport Chamber Foundation, also accepting funding from opioid settlements in the amount of $123,584, and then moving dollars around within our utilities for a project. All of these items will be dealt with throughout the agenda. And various items, we'd ask that you approve this budget ordinance on first reading, please.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
An ordinance to amend various fund budgets for the year ending June 30, 2025, and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
You've heard the reading of the ordinance. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman Phillips. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman George. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the ordinance, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Ordinance passes 6-0. The city manager.
Next item is consideration of a budget ordinance for the general fund in fiscal '25. This budget ordinance is specifically to provide additional funding in the amount of $150,000 to PetWorks. PetWorks is responsible for the animal shelter as well as animal control within the city of Kingsport, as you see outlined within the executive summary. Historically, the Board of Mayor and Aldermen has had to increase funding above what was originally allocated within the budget. We recently addressed some issues associated with their debt in hopes that as we move into next fiscal year, some of the dollars allocated towards debt could potentially be looked at for operations. As we always say, we encourage our citizens and businesses to continue to give. This is a nonprofit organization tasked with a very important task in animal control and animal care within our city. Be happy to answer any questions, but if not, Mayor, we'd ask that you approve this budget ordinance on first reading, please.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
An ordinance to amend various fund budgets for the year ending June 30, 2025, and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
You've heard the reading of the ordinance. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Vice Mayor Duncan. Sir, second.
Second.
Second by Alderman Cooper. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, All in favor of the ordinance, say aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Ordinance passed 6-0. Mr. City Manager.
All right, moving into business matters requiring final adoption. Your first item is consideration of a budget ordinance to appropriate $25,181 from the Department of Justice, Office of Justice Programs Fiscal 24 Edward Byrne Memorial Justice Assistance Grant Program. This comes to you on second final reading. We ask that you approve the budget ordinance, please.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
An ordinance to amend the Justice Assistance Grant Fund budget by appropriating grant funds received from the U.S. Department of Justice for the year ending June 30, 2025, and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
You've heard the reading of the ordinance. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman George. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Mays. Any discussion? Madam Recorder, please take the roll.
Alderman Cooper.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Duncan.
Aye.
Alderman George.
Aye.
Alderman Mays.
Aye.
Alderman Phillips.
Aye.
Mayor Montgomery.
Aye. The ordinance passes 6-0. Mr. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of an ordinance to amend zoning of tax map 47, parcel 2.2, located along Brookside Drive from the M1 Light Manufacturing District to B3 Highway-Oriented Business District. The budget ordinance comes to us on second and final reading. We'd ask that you approve the ordinance, please.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
An ordinance to further amend the zoning code text and map to rezone property located along Brookside Drive from the M1 Light Manufacturing District to B3 Highway-Oriented Business District in the 11th Civil District of Sullivan County to fix the penalty for the violation of this ordinance and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
You've heard the reading of the ordinance. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval, Vice Mayor Duncan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman George. Any discussion? This is where the church is going? Okay. Okay, Madam Recorder, please take the roll.
Alderman Cooper.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Duncan.
Aye.
Alderman George.
Aye.
Alderman Mays.
Aye.
Alderman Phillips.
Aye.
Mayor Montgomery.
Aye. Ordinance passes 6-0. Mr. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a budget ordinance for various funds in fiscal 25. This is also on second and final reading. We ask that you approve the budget ordinance, please.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
An ordinance to amend various fund budgets for the year ending June 30, 2025, and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
You've heard the reading of the ordinance. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval, Alderman George. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Mays. Any discussion?
I think it's worth noting that there's an amendment for additional funds for the street resurfacing in this ordinance, so very thankful for city manager and city staff for doing that.
Any other comment? Okay. Madam Recorder, please take the vote.
Alderman Cooper.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Duncan.
Aye.
Alderman George.
Aye.
Alderman Mays.
Aye.
Alderman Phillips.
Aye.
Mayor Montgomery.
Aye. Ordinance passes 6-0. Mr. City Manager.
All right, moving on to other business. First item is the consideration of resolution to enter into an agreement with TDOT for resurfacing of various roadways. This is an item that we discussed last night. It's an item you're familiar with as we take MPO funding, which is typically 80%. We provide a 20% match. That allows us to tackle some fairly significant roadway projects. We recently completed some paving that was where these funds were used. The only dilemma is it often takes quite a bit of time to go through the approval process. We anticipate the same here. Funding for two roads has been identified within this agreement, Meadowview Parkway and Orbank Road. We'll begin moving forward with that process following your all's approval of the resolution on this item. That being said, Mayor, we'd ask that you approve the resolution, please.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution approving agreement number 240447 with the Tennessee Department of Transportation for the resurfacing of various roadways and authorizing the mayor to execute the agreement and all of the documents necessary and proper to effectuate the purpose of the agreement.
You've heard the reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman Phillips. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman George. Is there any discussion?
I do have a quick question. So this is the third time we've done something like this in almost 6 years. And through, as we talked about last night, third time we've done it, just now getting some of the roads paved from the first time. My question is, I know that the first time, I forgot to ask this last night, but when we did it the first time, we anticipated like 4 or 5 roads. I can't remember the exact number. And it took so long for TDOT to get us the money, I believe we had to drop a road.
Correct.
Okay, so on this one, knowing that it's 5 years out or 4 years out, is that why we've just identified 2 roads? Because we feel like while today we're setting aside $4 million in 2029, when they actually get around to paving it, it may be $5 million or 4.5 or whatever.
I think we typically look at lane miles width as well, and so obviously with Meadowview Parkway, pretty wide road, Ore Bank. I'm not sure the terminus of this, but if we're looking at the entire stretch of Ore Bank from Cleat coming back, you know, that's probably gonna take the bulk of what we got. We're also trying to estimate 4 years out what asphalt costs and labor will be, but I feel comfortable with where we're at, that we should be in this range. If not, we may have to look to shorten that and then supplement it with local dollars.
Ron made it halfway up. Come on up and talk.
He's just stretching his legs.
I was hoping I wouldn't talk because I might cough, but no, city manager answered correct, yeah.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Any other discussion? Or question?
Wait till he walks back and let's ask him something else.
That's it.
No other question? Okay, no comment. Okay, take the vote. All in favor of the resolution, say aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Resolution passes 6-0. City manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution to enter into an agreement with LJA Engineering Incorporated to provide inspection and engineering services for the West Kingsport Sewer Basin. If you've been on this board for any period of time, you will know that the West Kingsport Sewer Basin has been an item that we've had a lot of discussion about. We've made not only capital improvements, but we also continue to study the growth that is taking place on the west end of town to make sure that we have sufficient utilities. Primarily, when we talk about that, we're looking at, on the sewer side, to be able to manage growth. And so this is one of the other things that we're doing to continue moving forward with that. This is a contract, allow them to perform manhole inspections, GPS survey, integration, smoke testing, and closed-circuit TV inspection, and cleaning, as well as an engineering summary at the end for this sewer basin. Very important work. We often talk about the need for advanced planning, be able to plan this out multiple years before we put capital dollars in. This is just one of those steps that we take. You see the funding that's been identified here. With that, we'd ask that you approve the resolution allowing us to enter into this contract with LGA.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution authorizing an agreement with LJA Engineering for Phase 2 of the sanitary sewer inspection project for the West Kingsport Sewer Basin, and authorizing the mayor to execute the agreement and all the documents necessary and proper to effectuate the purpose of the agreement.
Thank you. You've heard the reading of the resolution. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved. I'll second.
Motion for approval by Vice Mayor Duncan, second by Alderman George. Any discussion? Okay. All in favor of resolution, say aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Resolution passes 6-0. City manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution authorizing the Industrial Development Board of the City of Kingsport, Tennessee to execute a payment in lieu of taxes agreement with O'Neill Manufacturing Services, LLC. This is a millwright company that is moving into the state of Tennessee, specifically to Kingsport. This will be located over off Sullivan Gardens Parkway. This is a company that's bringing with it a tremendous amount of equipment, and as a result of that, a tremendous amount of personal property tax will be collected through our work with the state of Tennessee, as well as with networks. A recommendation was given that we should look at a pilot, relatively short pilot and a small amount of a pilot, but nonetheless a pilot in order to provide savings on personal property tax. This is something that's very common. We have done this with existing manufacturing as well as new manufacturing and the expansion of manufacturing within not only the city of Kingsport, but Sullivan County. Excited to have this company here, approximately 30 jobs. Opportunities for growth exist, and I think they will fit into our very strong industrial city just fine. So we ask that you approve this resolution, allowing us to fully execute the pilot agreement.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution authorizing the Industrial Development Board of the City of Kingsport, Tennessee to negotiate and accept from O'Neill Manufacturing Services LLC payments in lieu of ad valorem tax with respect to a manufacturing operation project in the City of Kingsport, Tennessee, and finding that such payments are deemed to be in furtherance of the public purposes of the board as defined in Tennessee Code Annotated Section 7-53-305.
You've heard reading the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman Mays. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman George. Any discussion? I think this one brings about 30 jobs.
Yes.
30
it
jobs.
does.
That's significant. Any other discussion comments?
Yeah, I just would like to thank our Kingsport administration and networks for working hard to make this happen. Incremental growth like this is very important. This is a significant investment in the park, so very grateful for their willingness to come here.
They are also, I should say, 30 high-paying jobs.
Yes, these are very good industrial jobs.
Okay. Any other discussion, comment? Okay. All in favor of the resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Resolution passes 6-0. Mr. City Manager.
All right, I believe we're moving into the consent agenda now, and so we have, I believe there are 5 items on here. So I'm going to read through those as we go through this. I'm sorry, I've got discrepancy with my packet here compared to what you all have. So
Discrepancy.
they're out of order.
Oh.
All right, I'll read through the 5 items. If you'd like one of these removed for additional discussion, please let me know. First item is consideration of a resolution to accept a donation from the Kingsport Chamber Foundation. Second item is consideration of a resolution canceling the March 3rd, 2025 work session and the March 4th, 2025 business meeting of the Board of Mayor and Aldermen and adding a budget work session on February 28th, 2025. Third item is consideration of a resolution to approve a property damage release with Progressive Hawaii Insurance Corporation. Fourth item is consideration to approve issuance of certificate of compliance for a business to sell retail alcoholic beverages. The fifth item is consideration of a resolution to designate officials authorized to execute banking transactions. Mayor, we'd ask that you approve the 5 items as submitted unless you'd like one pulled for additional discussion.
Okay, you've heard the reading of the 5 items on the consent agenda. May I have a motion for approval?
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second, motion by Vice Mayor Duncan, second by Alderman Mays and George. Any discussion? Madam Recorder, please take the vote.
Alderman Cooper,
Aye to all.
Vice Mayor Duncan,
Aye to all.
Alderman George,
Aye to all.
Alderman Mays,
Aye to all.
Alderman Phillips,
Aye to all.
Mayor Montgomery.
Aye to all. The consent agenda passes 6-0. City Manager.
All right, completes our agenda. We'll move into communications. I told Lisa we'd probably have the shortest meeting on record so she could get out and party. If it hadn't been for James's question, Lisa, I'm pretty certain we would have been able to accomplish that.
Sorry.
As we stated last night, this is Lisa Winkle's last meeting. She's been our city recorder, comptroller, treasurer, recorder. She's been with the city for 18 years. I've always told Lisa, and all of the staff will say this as well, she has a brilliant financial mind. She's not always going to tell you what you want to hear when it comes to your financials, but she's going to tell you what you need to hear, and that has been very important for us over the years. She's just done an outstanding job. We hate to see her go. We also, at the same time, recognize, as we do with every retiree, you've earned it. So I hope you will enjoy it. I know you have a lot of exciting things planned for your retirement, and we couldn't be happier for you. We'll have a party up here tomorrow to further celebrate her time, but Lisa, we just thank you for everything you've done. So give her a round of applause. Let's give her a Yep, I'll pay for that.
Not for long.
Yeah. I also want to take a second to recognize our city engineer, Hank Clayball. If you picked up the Times News this past weekend, I guess last week, you saw over a course of 3 days, several stories on the Main Street project. And if you've been following this project for a period of time, as I know many of the board members have, you know this is a challenging project. When you rebuild a road, which we have done, we have ripped that road up with businesses on both sides, it brings with it a set of challenges. Every article that I read, every video that I watched on this, the business owners, the residents downtown, over and over again, commented on what an outstanding job Hank has done, and just simply communicating with them what they're doing, when they're going to be there, what the impact is going to be, what you can see when it's done, adjustments that need to be made, working with the engineers, the contractors to make that happen. That's a tough thing to do. And he has done it at the highest level of professionalism, and just really, really appreciate everything that he has put into that project. I know Hank, like all of us, looking forward to that project being done. We see the light at the end of the tunnel, and we're very close to completing that. Really, just an amazing project for our downtown. And last but not least, I'll ask you to look on the screen, and for those who are watching at home, this is a website that was launched on Friday, kingsportecondev.org. This is coming from our Economic Development Board. So our economic development staff, Stephen and Mason, have put a tremendous amount of time into this. If you haven't had a chance, I encourage you to scroll through it. Everything economic development is on this page. Everything that we are doing to communicate across the country, across the Southeast, in our efforts to connect developers of all sorts, residential, commercial, with property owners. You can find that information here, as well as projects that we are key investors in, such as Fort Henry Mall or the Dobbins-Taylor Warehouse. There's information on here about that, and information for developers to take a look at. This is something that we have talked about for a long time. We set out to do this, and the pandemic hit. It kind of slowed things down. We're happy to be able to bring it back. This is a major step for us in that continuance of our desire to be able to tell our story and be able to draw people into our city. So really excited about this, and really excited about the work that has been done within the Economic Development Office over the last 45 days. I mentioned yesterday we turned the corner on January 1, and we really have not caught our breath since then, with projects going on downtown, constant interest in Stone Drive, residential development popping up everywhere. Kingsport continues to be a place people want to be. It's just finding the right spot to get them in. And so we're doing a good job in that. I appreciate the work that has been done in that office. Jessica Harmon, our assistant city manager, leads those efforts. But again, please, if you hadn't had a chance, check out this website. We unveiled it today at the Kingsport Economic Development Board meeting. They were very pleased with this. Very much an interactive site as well for developers. Mayor?
Thank you. Alderman Phillips.
All right, well, I'll go first. Lisa, we'll miss you. Lisa was, when I was first elected 5.5 years ago, Lisa was part of the, one of the groups that I met with to discuss to me everything that went on with her job, and I was lost after 5 minutes. So I appreciate it. And it's amazing it took 5 minutes, but I appreciate everything that Lisa has done in keeping she took over during a difficult time, and I appreciate in terms of, we had some loss here at the city, with personnel, and just, she stepped up and did a great job, so we'll miss you, Lisa. Thanks for everything. I hope I don't take everybody's stuff. DB Dome, we opened last week, last Tuesday, the first game. The girls won and the boys won. They're just wrapping up speeches now from the halftime celebration. But it was a really great event, and it's incredible. That facility is so amazing. I mean, it looks like a small Division I college basketball facility. I mean, it looks like Butler or, teams like that could play there. So just great job for everybody, and really enjoyed being there for the kickoff. Carousel has reopened. So the carousel has been closed for a month being cleaned, and it is now reopened. So I encourage everybody to head back to the carousel and check it out. They've got some new staff there, and so they're doing some new events and everything. I think they got events starting as early as next week. So make sure and go by and hit the carousel and see it now that it's been re-cleaned and re-primed and looking good. And then finally, I'll just comment, last night, we had the airport discussion, and I'm sure everybody wants to make a comment on that, and I'll just leave it with, I thought it was a really good discussion. I hope that we move forward with helping, and I just hope that the other 5 partners in the airport, other 5 owners in the airport step up and do the same, because that could be something really great that really gets the ball rolling at the airport and gets us some new flights and lowers our airfare on our current flights. So with that, I think that's all.
Thank you. Alderman Mays.
Oh, thank you, Mayor. First of all, I want to congratulate Lisa. And although I haven't been able to work with her as long as other board members here, you're so impressive, your work. And I wish I could work with you longer, but I certainly understand. Congratulations. I've never seen anybody go through a 4-inch document and take questions from random questions from board members, and you don't even look at the document. You just tell folks where to go to the page. I mean, that's astonishing, I think, and so it tells me that you've put a lot of work into that document. Job, so thank you very much. And echo Dobbins Bennett is fantastic. I think it should be noted that board members here tonight, obviously before my tenure, and past board members that worked on that project, and it was a sudden project that literally was unplanned for, and a large amount of sum of taxpayer dollars was appropriated. It took a lot of courage to do that, and this board, past board, and the school board working together, I think what you see at Dobbins Bennett is a good result of teamwork between the school board and the BMA. I thought it was very, very impressive. I want to echo what James has said. We had a long discussion last night about the airport, and I know citizens are following this topic very, very closely because the airport impacts so many of our citizens and our businesses. But I think the takeaway from last night, after a large amount of questions, is that it can help our small business, and it will help lower airfares potentially at Tri-Cities Regional Airport. And I think that is a tremendous value add for our community. I agree with James. I think the other 5 owners of the airport should contribute. Some have already committed, and I think we need to be together as a region, wholeheartedly supporting our airport and its growth.
Alderman Cooper.
Just to echo what's been said, I said, Lisa, it's so nice to have someone that you trust in your position. As a board member, you don't have to worry about the finances. You know that they're very trustworthy, and someone that's very capable is handling all that. So you can, we will surely miss you. Dobbins Bennett, same thing. I said, I remember being in the late 60s, going to the first ball game when it opened in the 60s, late 60s. So my brother was the first class that went through as a sophomore at the time, went through all. So I remember, so it was very full circle to come in and see it, see the groundbreaking again last week. As our weather warms up, we'll have some pretty days. Be sure to go to visit the our downtown area. I know that Shop and Hop is this Tuesday, so Valentine coming up.
Thursday.
I'm sorry, this Thursday, sorry, it's the 6th. With Valentine's Day coming up, you can shop downtown for your sweetheart. That's it.
Thank you, George.
Well, I'm gonna echo everybody on Lisa, and Audit Committee will not be the same without you. I have really appreciated, I think though, Gary, when she just calls out page numbers, because the book is that thick, by the time we find it and find the line, she's already, like, everybody's moved on, so we just assumed she knew everything she didn't have to have the page right because we're not that quick. But I really have appreciated all you've brought to your job and to make, Audit Committee and going through everything so much better, and the data and information has been wonderful, and I hope you enjoy your retirement, and if you want to come back to those meetings, we'd love to have you. And I have a couple of things that are going on that Visit Kingsport sent me, just to remind everybody that we have the Clash of the Conference NAIA baseball tournament at Hunter Wright Stadium this Friday and Saturday. I hope it doesn't rain. Thursday through Saturday, we have the Appalachian Athletic Conference Swimming Champions at the Kingsport Aquatic Center. And Thursday through Saturday next week, we have the Independent South Swimming Conference Champions at the Aquatic Center. So we do have a lot of different teams coming in, and hopefully, as said, for the swimming, we're great. Hopefully for the baseball, we'll have good weather. And just want to mention, I've gotten several calls with questions concerning the library in Glen Bruce Park. And, that is something that we did mention the previous work session. And, that is just in the planning stages. And a lot of people, I think, wanted the outline and to know exactly how it's all going to work, and just really want to, this is the library as we're moving down that pathway, and I know we'll have a lot of conversations on that, and I'm sure the community will have time to give some input, but there are some wonderful opportunities to have a playground over there and look at some different things in the future. But I know a lot of people kind of got the understanding that, we're like fencing it tomorrow. And, this is just starting down that path, and there'll be a lot more conversations, and I've tried to relay that to different people, just saying where we are. I think everybody's hit on the airport. I think it's, some more direct flights is wonderful. We have a great airport, and I think that they did a great presentation yesterday, and I think that's probably about all I've got.
Vice Mayor.
One kind of recognition, Bishop Ronnie Bishop is here with us, of course, but he has his wife Gwen. He has a number of family members here. He has his daughter. He's got grandkids with him, and so we'd like to welcome all of them here because I know they come up from Oak Ridge tonight. So we appreciate them stopping by tonight. So, I can't say enough about Lisa. Like Colette said, we've sat on the audit team for a number of years, and we start out at page 50, and we go to page 197 and back to 40, and, it's like Colette and I are kind of just doing this.
I feel a lot smarter when I
yeah,
learn.
that's right. But Lisa, we do appreciate everything that you've done, and for not only the city, but just kind of walking us through the audits and make it to where we understand it. So we appreciate you, and we wish you the best in retirement. So good luck, and hope we haven't been too bad on you. But I know it's like what James said, when you took over was, it was under some different circumstances. So we appreciate that. We Keep Kingsport Beautiful has been added again, and so they have won a very prestigious award, and so it's through Keep America Beautiful, and so it's a 2024 Presidential Circle Award, and so through this there is a number of standards that has to be completed in this to even achieve this. And so it's standards of merit, which includes some of it is like cost, what they have versus the benefit ratio of what you receive out of it. And so it's initiatives that follow along with that, with trying to end littering in communities, and so to improve recycling and just really the beautification that they do. And so we haven't sent out the pickups yet. Sharon Hayes, the director, is still working on that for 2025, but we'll be seeing some of those, and I'm sure you'll see me out picking up trash as I usually do. Might get stopped again and asked if I'm on work detail. But we do appreciate everything Sharon does, and she'll be going to Washington DC to receive this award. So we may recognize her because it is a very prestigious. So appreciate that, and I can just comment on the dome too. It was great. So back to you.
Thank you. I guess I'm the last to get to ditto. Lisa, we're going to miss you, and I've had a lot of fun times talking to you and things. I accused you of really messing me up here, not getting my name right, but Times News topped that today. They got my name really wrong. So thank you for all you've done, and we wish you the best going forward. I too am supportive of the airport. I think this is one that we all agree that we're 100% supportive of doing something on behalf of the board. And I want to say something. Now, on February 1st, which was we just had a proclamation of Black History Month, but on January 23rd, the city lost a great American, Mr. Jack Pierce. Mr. Jack, he did everything that any human could do. He was there for the cleanups. He was there for working, hosting the habitat, and he also was the community historian. People would come and stop by just to verify the facts, and he would always have something to say, pictures. And there's going to be a book in Smithsonian. We heard that on Saturday, where he will be featured in that book. It'll be on sale at Smithsonian. So when you're at Smithsonian, you get a chance to purchase that, or you can go online and get that. So tribute to the family for sharing their dad with us this many years. Thank you for all that you guys did in support of the family during their time of need. And I think that's it. So this meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.
Appreciate you, sir. I thought about that earlier in the week.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
He was a good one.